Welcome back. This is Signature Morning on Signature TV. Charles here, and it's 8:34 in the morning. It's a lovely Wednesday. It's midweek. Wherever you are watching us from, many thanks for joining us. You can connect with us on all our social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all Signature TV News. All right. We're going to be expanding our discussion on Rivers State this morning, and Chief Jackson Lekan is on the standby. He is the Executive Security Expert, Public Analyst. Good to have you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure, my brother. Good morning. And good morning, Nigerians across the globe.
All right. How did you receive the news of the Supreme Court judgments?
I was expecting it to be like that. Because since the political solution has failed during the intervention of Mr. President, and the political leaders, the religious leaders, the traditional leaders in Rivers State, instead of them to intervene, they divided themselves, one in this camp, the other one in this camp, so that at that particular time, you discover that there is no political solution again that could solve the problem. It was a judicial process, and the Supreme Court has ruled at the end of the day, and I believe that the Supreme Court has given both sides soft landing. So I was expecting it. I was not surprised at all, and the Supreme Court has done the best that any court across the globe could do.
Were you surprised when the Supreme Court said that there was no evidence that the 27 lawmakers defected to the APC?
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, but commonsensically, I can tell you there has been no evidence so far. What a lot of people believe and what they were contemplating was that the law that says immediately you decamp, you lose your office. That was what people rely on. Whereas it is not done that way. When you decamp, there must still be a pronouncement of court from the High Court through the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. A court must interpret that law and enforce it. That is it. So I think the normal thing has been done. There has been no court before now that said these people have lost their offices. So based on that, I think assuming there was a case like that, or any pronouncement of any court, people would have been expecting it to move up to the Supreme Court. But when the matter was consolidated and there had been no ruling against them, that is to say, the Supreme Court had to settle it. So be it. And anybody that is not comfortable should only appeal to God. And God is for every one of us.
Okay, since that judgment happened, there have been several engagements. There have been, several persons on the ground in Rivers State throwing all sorts of threats to the presidency, to even the minister for the FCT. In fact, non-state actors, you could say. Some of them even have masked on them, threatening that they are going to return to the creeks if anything happens to Fubara, if he's in any way impeached. There have also been mounted the impeachment, the growing thoughts about impeachment of Fubara, given the development of the Supreme Court's judgment. Some persons have said it's going to be the wrong move. Some others have said, well, it serves Fubara right. It's about time that the House also pays him with a bad coin, which he has also done with them in the past few months. Can you explain to us the dynamic of what is playing right now? Because we also understand that Pandev even met with the president yesterday, and the president told them that they should prevail on the governor to implement the Supreme Court judgment. So one would wonder, really, where are we on this? Is the president aware of all of these up until this moment? And do you think, by any sense of information, or maybe a thought, that the Supreme Court's judgment may have been influenced by political actors?
It would have been wrong for anybody to say that the Supreme Court judgment has been influenced by by the political actors. Because whosoever that will say that must be called upon to prove it. So let me just condemn that one. I don't believe that the eminent jurist sitting at the Supreme Court needed anybody to influence them. What are they looking for in life? After the Supreme Court, they retire back to their home. The name they have made over the year, all their efforts over the year. Do you think because of one small political case, those people will allow themselves to be influenced by anybody? You see, the problem we are facing in this country, before I come to the reading, the problem we are facing in this country is that whenever we lose case, it has been influenced by our opponent. Whenever we win case, oh, glory be to God, kudos to the court. That is it. That part. Then, let me start from the raging of some persons in River State. Those people that are raging in River State, threatening thunder, fire, and other things. Honestly, I will be bold to call them jesters. There is no way, there is nowhere some set of persons that are so infinitesimal when you look at the figure of people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If about 200 million people in this country, if less than 5,000 persons are threatening the federal government, I think they are jesters. They can't succeed. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not somebody. He has been in this game of politics. He has been in power before some of these people raging today were born. So he's not a timid character. He may not be perfect in his administrative duties, but he's not a timid character that somebody will just want to threat. They are threatening at their own peril. That is it. If they want to go back to creek, let them go back to creek. If the creek is comfortable for them, I don't think when they declare amnesty, I don't think they should come out. If they prefer the creek, if creek is comfortable, if creek is more peaceful, if creek is more safe, when they declare amnesty, I think they should prefer the creek. That is that. It's ordinary raging. Nobody can confront the federal government. If the federal government really want to come, they will treat them like if they are fighting war. And the federal might is too heavy for very few persons to withstand. No. That is it. That is that. Then, the issue of impeachment. Has there been any impeachable offense committed? Yes. 2024 budget was not appropriated, but it was spent. Nobody talks about that one. The Court of Appeal ruled that the budget of 2024 should be sent back to the House of Assembly, the authentic assembly. The governor disobeyed. Now, that one possibly event must have overtaken it, but they say now the major reason why they seized the allocation of River State is just because the Supreme Court said, go and present the 2025 appropriation to the House of Assembly. Let them treat it and pass it to law. It becomes budget. Then immediately this is done, honestly, they will vacate that order. Then the governor came. The second day after the judgment, he did a state broadcast where he told the local government chairman that they should vacate office, that the head of local government administration to take over. That is obedience to one of the ruling of the Supreme Court. But when it comes to the issue of recognition of the House of Assembly for him to present the budget, he said he want to study, he was waiting for the CTC, certified true copy. Did he wait for the certified true copy before he dissolved the local government chairmen and councillors. No, that is a selective obedience system. He is selecting the one that is going to obey. This is Supreme Court of the land. That the ruling, the pronouncement is not just a pronouncement, the pronouncement become a law. So I think the governor is the one delaying all these things now. And disobedient to the Supreme Court, let the federal government, we want to act. Because the federal government cannot be there, and for somebody to disobey the Supreme Court, they will act whichever way. Because if this thing bring about crisis in Rivers State, the federal government has the power to hit the sledgehammer, and it will be disruptive to the political system here in Rivers State for a period of time. So when you listen to what the president has said yesterday, the president spoke and he said, Mr. Governor, go and obey the ruling of the Supreme Court to the last letter, and let there be peace in Rivers State. Now, you need to go and present the budget 2025 before the State House of Assembly. You need to go and present the list of the commissioner serving being screened by the Okojombos Assembly. You need to represent this one to the House of Assembly. Immediately does all this, he has obeyed the law, the ruling of the Supreme Court, and peace will come back. There is no way anybody in the House of Assembly can just wake up with one morning, we want to impeach the governor if the governor has not committed any impeachable offenses. Even if Satan the devil want to keep man, he will first of all find fault in that man and report the parent to God. You understand? So the people of Rivers State, Nigerians, they are keenly watching. There is no way that these people, when the governor is doing the right thing, this time around, obedient to the ruling of the Supreme Court, work amicably with them, because there is no democracy when there is no legislative arms of government. There is no government in the world, in any democracy in the world, that a governor, the executive will run the affairs of the state without the legislative arms. Where is the oversight function? So this is a must. So the earlier the better the governor obey the ruling of the Supreme Court, as it had been advised by the President and Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria yesterday.
All right. There are people who also think that the governor, has done well in terms of trying to even bring these State House of Assembly on board by inviting them to the government house for a meeting. I don't know if you know about that particular story, but the State House of Assembly members rejected that particular call, said they were not going to go there. So what else do you want him to do? I mean, there should be if you want to work with somebody, you would have to go on a meeting with them, in some way. So nobody would see danger and then want to jump on it. Well, you mentioned that he was selective in his judgment, in the implementation of the judgment of the Supreme Court. But I mean, we also know that these things take time. It's a process, So at what point do you think that he was selective with his implementation of the judgment by the Supreme Court?
Immediately, the Supreme Court did not rule about the local government on a day and another day rule about the legislative arms. It was the same judgment. The same day, he obeyed that of the local government dissolution. Was the same day he should have implemented this other one. That is it. For him to implement this on a state broadcast on Sunday, 2 days after the judgment, And up till now, he has not implemented this one. He was still waiting for the CTC, and the CTC has come out last week, Thursday, and up till now, he has not implemented it. The whole world know that. That is selective system. That is as simple as ABC.
Okay.
When the Supreme Court ruled, do they give space of weeks or days for anybody to obey them? It takes effect from that same minute after the ruling. It takes effect. When Rotimi Amechi was removed, did he wait for the certified true copy? Before he left office immediately. And all other things that had happened. So this is the first time that to carry out the instruction, the ruling of the Supreme Court, somebody is waiting for CTC, particular one, no need of waiting for CTC. This other one, you are happy, you are not happy, you first of all obey the supreme ruling, the supreme law of the land. For him to delay up to this moment is losing a lot of sympathizers because they see him as somebody that is disobedient to the law. That is it.
Well, but then do you also think that when judgment is given, the CTC should also be ready with it so that we don't have this kinds of back and forth with whether the CTC is the same thing that the Supreme Court actually did? Because we've seen misinterpretations happen even with the Supreme Court judgment. People will go out and then misinterpret what they have said, and then nothing happens. Do you also think that as soon as a judgment is done, the CTC should follow it so that, I mean, the implementation happens immediately?
It is good for CTC to follow immediately. But if it's from the High Court, you can wait for the CTC for you to study with your legal personnel in order to see if you need to appeal and what are you appealing. If it is from the Court of Appeal, you can wait for the CTC in order for you to study it, to know how to appeal to the Supreme Court and what to appeal. But when it is the Supreme Court that you know that you are not appealing, obedience to that ruling start immediately. Because if you wait for the CTC and you study the CTC and you are not satisfied with the CTC, what can you do? You can't do anything. It is supreme. It is the maximum judicial order of the land. CTC or no CTC, you must obey. Because even if the CTC is out and your legal officers and they found fault here and there, except they want to take it to God. You can't do anything. You can't go to any other court. You can't complain to anybody. You are not happy, you are not happy. It's as simple as ABC. The way you handle the ruling of the Court of Appeal, the High Court, is quite different from that of the Supreme Court. Because that is the final bus stop. If you are on top of the roof of your house, the highest thing you can go is to jump down and die. You can't go further than that. It's as simple as ABC.
So, but then, do you think it was justified that the lawmakers shunned the meeting called by the governor on Monday?
Let us be. Let us come together. Let us forget about law now. Let us think about morality. See, these people have oversight function on you, and you don't have oversight function on them. These people are not your aides. Without them, you cannot rule. Without them, you cannot spend. Let first of all send invitation to him. Yes, Nigerian could fought that 48 hours ultimatum. But what we expect the governor to do, that maybe 48 hours ultimatum would have been too short. It would have been good for the governor to communicate back to them that please, the 48 hours will be too short for me to prepare all this. Please, can you extend it? Maybe give me 1 week. But he kept mute. You disobey the lawmakers that have oversight function on you, that could impeach you, that you could not impeach them, that you don't have oversight function on them. You disobey their invitation twice. That means to you they are nobody. And you have forgotten that these are representing the people that voted you into office. One of those members of House of Assembly is representing the whole constituency. So if 27 constituency out of 32 in Rivers State invite you, according to the law given to them, and you disobey and you dishonor them, now you are now in turn inviting them. No, it is not done anywhere in the world. It is not done anywhere in the world. Yes. Flagrant disobedience to appear before them, to communicate to them, to seek another period, extension of that 48 hours, means you disregard them, you disrespect them, and if you disregard them and you disrespect them, you disregard and you disrespect the constituencies. In this case, you have disrespect and disregard 27 constituencies out of 32 constituencies in Rivers State. The governor has not done well. You dishonor them, you demean them, you are now inviting them to come and do what? You go and obey them first. Then after the obedience, present the budget. Send the name of those commissioners that were not screened. After that one, you go invite them. And I've not seen anywhere in the world where a president or a governor sit in the comfort of the government house and invite all the legislative hands to the governor's office or to the presidential office. If you must have meeting with them, invite the leadership. That is it. That is how it should be done. That is it. This executive recklessness should not be entertained in this country any longer.
Interesting perspective, Ojo, the way you're putting it. But then, the reason why we're having issues in Rivers State this very moment is because of this issue of godfatherism. Issues with Similai Fabara and his godfather, who is Nyesom Wike. Have we come to a point where we would now accept that any godfather who leaves office, is now prone to having a godson who would obey whatever it is that he has stated out, or if not, he should step aside? So, I mean, are we now buying into that means? Because again, like it or leave it, we know where all these issues came from. If Fubara and Nyesom Wike are still together today, we wouldn't have these issues up until Supreme Court. So, don't you think that all these issues are tilting towards upholding the strengths and the power of godfathers over an actual democratic tenets that should, be the bedrock of any governance?
Former Governor Nyesom Wike came some time ago, and he said the problem is because somebody wants to hijack a particular political structure. The governor responded that I cannot quarrel with my godfather, I cannot quarrel with my leader, I cannot quarrel with my organ. As the governor come open to say this is the reason why this man is fighting me. As the governor come open to say that, the two of them understood, and they are still understanding the reason why they are fighting. The public is not even aware of the main reasons. The governor say, oh, somebody want to manage the economy, hijack the economy of the state. And the other one will say, no, let him prove. Wherever they have discussed that, whatever that has happened, for anybody to come out and say somebody want to hijack the economy of the state, and the governor be able to prove it, the two of them, they are still operating. It's only the two of them that knows what is going on between them. These two people worked together before us, governor and director of finance, government house. Later, governor as accountant general of the state. There is no 10 kobo the accountant general can take without the governor. There is no way the governor too can take anything without the accountant general. They work together smoothly. If the governor comes today to say Wike is corrupt, that means both of them are corrupt. Because the man wouldn't have been able to be, the man wouldn't have been corrupt if you didn't support him as the accountant general of the state to be corrupt. So these two people, what is in between them is that none of them will be able to be bold to say it to the public. They are just, people are just monitoring them. They are not telling us, the governor is not telling us the truth. The former governor is not telling anybody the truth. Both of them know what is happening between them. That is it. So I'm not taking side at all. I'm not close to any one of them. I don't want to be close to them. I'm not a government contractor. So I'm not a political apologist. I don't belong to their party. I belong to the opposition party, APC, in the state. So I have no reason to support them. But me, whatever you hear from me is reality, or to the extent in which I understand this matter. Both of them are not telling the public the truth. That is it.
Did you say you belong to the APC or ADP?
I am a chieftain of APC, okay, the ruling party at the center, and I'm a Baptist, unrepentant Baptist.
Okay, fair enough. So many persons would think that your opinion is based on your affiliation with your party. That's the reason why you're sounding this way, because if you bring somebody on the other side, they would also practically knock down some of the points that you've put out. But then your points are very valid. You have put out fantastic points, which are one should look again and be sure that someone is not distorting the fact. In another breath, you have said that you are not with the party. You both of them are lying. So if you were in some way asked what should in one way or another solve this problem, how would you go about it? What would you advise? Do you see impeachments on the cards of the APC for Fubara in the nearest future?
If there might be nothing impeachment, but the governor can be so smart and work the way he's working seriously. Is the governor I love most. I have been in Rivers State for 26 years. These 26 years, this is the governor that did roads that had been abandoned for over 20-something years. That affects me at a particular time. I trek out of my house, despite my numbers of cars. I trek out of my house to trek My children trek to the road. My wife trek before we go and join public transport. But this guy has done this road. So he has performed.
Hello? Mr. Ocho? Okay, I don't think we got every part of what he was about to say to us. Maybe we can connect back to him if we've got time, but then we really want to appreciate his insights into the
Every little
program.
lawless. So
Ojo, are you back?
the governor may walk. Yes. There may be nothing impeachment, but the governor may be smart enough to work in a way that there won't be any loophole for these people to see any impeachable offenses being committed. The governor and his advisors, they should do what they are doing. They are working well. They are excellent in performance, honestly. But the only problem I'm having with them, with the governor, is that he must work with the legislative arms. It's not his dictate. It's not if he feel like. It is a must, and he can find reasons. Wicked that these people are supporting, Wicked did not give them life. Whatever Wicked has done to them, the governor could do it to them, so that they can work together for the benefit of good governance, to the peace, growth and development of everybody in Rivers State. So the governor may work that these people will not be able to lay hand on any impeachable offense. And if there is no impeachable offense, how are they going to impeach him?
I mean,
that is it.
If you are looking for something, you're looking for something in order to do some other thing. I mean, I'm sure that you know that anybody can point at anything, no matter how safe you are, or no matter how clean you are. I mean, a certain Jesus Christ was crucified because he did good. So you know that in Nigeria, if you're looking to impeach somebody, I mean, just like you used a different pen for different signing, might actually get you impeached. So it may not necessarily be about his work. It could be anything. I mean, it could be something that had happened while these problems, persisted. So I'm just trying to say that point that you're putting up, that if he continues the way he's doing, going about working, that there might not be anything to see the points to impeach him. But then we've seen this kinds of thing play out in other places. Godfather, Godson, Godfather, Godson. But in general terms, for you, how should people who are in political space deal with overbearing godfathers who feel that they have inheritance with governance and with the resources of a state just because they were once governors?
To me, to stop all this, there must be legislation. There shall be a legislation from the top. The National Assembly must enact a law that immediately you serve your tenure, or you are a political principal of a particular person, you have no business in that governance. That is it. You don't, because you are the godfather, you begin to obnob. The governor, we know a place in this country, I will not mention, not in this dispensation anyway, that the budget of a state must be taken to a private house. That the person will say, remove this, put this, remove this, remove this. It happened in a state in the south before. It happened in a state in the southwest before, where the godfather will first of all receive the appropriation. And they remove this, put this, remove that, put that. It happens before. There must be a law, because it's becoming a norm in this country. There must be a law in place that will stop all those political godfathers from hoodwinking the governor just because they assist him to office. And we've seen places in this country too that immediately after the emergence of the governor, you won't hear anything like godfatherism. It has happened in Akwa Ibom State. It has happened in Cross River State. It has happened in so many other states that you won't hear any noise. You won't even know if those godfathers are still in existence. That is it. Look at what happened in Borno State. The present governor of Borno State today, Professor, I've forgotten his name now. He was a commissioner under Setima. I listened to Setima even as a vice president one day, as a vice presidential candidate. He was addressing the governor as his leader. And the journalist there, whom are you referring to? He said, the governor. Are you calling him the leader? He said, because when I was there, the governor, I was the leader in the state. Now that he is the governor, he is the leader in the state. Did you hear anything from them? No problem between them. So there are some states like that, that their political principles display a lot of maturity. But we have this other unfortunate state where the principal want to remain principal forever. At a stage in life, you don't even dictate for your children again. You allow them to live their life, and they will give you the respect due of you as a father.
All right. Thank you so much for your insights. I mean, it's quite a good point that you have put out. We truly appreciate you. I mean, you've been one interesting guest that we look forward to having every now and then, especially as it concerns issues of Rivers States. Thank you again for your time. We truly appreciate it.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket. Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.
Welcome, oh. This one is the muse. My people, it sounded familiar. Is it not? It sounds like what you have heard before in the past. But you are still my people. So my people, you're welcome. My people, now welcome to the muse. This is Signature TV Muse. What is muse? Let's keep talking. These Oyibo people can easily confuse you with language. What did they call muse again? My understanding of muse is when I sit alone, I'm thinking and talking. Just last night, I was just talking to myself. I opened my phone. I saw this, this WhatsApp, the WhatsApp images. I saw a posting where somebody said it was a dream. And in that dream, he dreamed that our dear president called the meeting of his kitchen cabinet, the meeting of the Federal Executive Council of Nigeria. That council is not detribalized, though. They are quite fine detribalized. What do I want to say? It's not tilted to one tribe. All Nigerians are recommended, yeah. So when they were calling, our dear president sat on his elevated seat. But he wore the caption written over him. He's also the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Jagaban himself. He is also the GCON, the General Officer Commanding. He is also the oil minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, from my mouth, you want to hear, say, Father wear, he wear trousers under his kaftan. But that's not it. I'm not saying anything. Just wait for me to come. The Federal Executive Council, they were all seated. Yemi Kadoso, the CBN governor, he walked in and he took his seat. And we are talking, as we are talking, Wale Du came in as the finance minister. That's it. They are just coming in that order, taking their seats. Zak Adedeji, he came in as the Federal Inland Revenue. He came in and sat down. He's the minister of FIRS. And Gboyega Oyetodola came in as the minister of Blue Economy. And they're all taking their seats. This present Nigerian government is detribalized, though. It's not tribalized. So don't quote me. I'm just telling you as they're coming in. As they come in, Jumoke Oluwale came in as the trade and industry minister. They're all taking their seat. Bosun Tijani, digital economy. He came in and took his seat. And as they're coming in, they're taking their bow. They are saluting the Jagaba, If you don't salute the Jagaba, now you sabi. And Bashir Adeni came in as the DG of Customs and SSI of Nigeria. Then the Chief of Staff, Bajabi Miala, came in. He's the Chief of Staff. Egbetoku came in as IGP, Inspector General of Police. Then Ola Olukoyede came in as EFCC Minister. Adiola Ajayi came in also to take his seat as the DG of DSS. This is the federal government of Nigeria I'm calling you. That is a government well selected. All Nigerians are well represented in that government. And you can see it from their names and where they are coming from. This is not Endo. Lateef Fagbeyemi came in as the Attorney General of Nigeria. they are coming there, and so that same posting I got said then the chief of staff was whispering to the commander in chief of Nigeria. He said, "Sir, you want to fight corruption? Will it be possible? Is it not possible that we invite the Attorney General, Kekere, Kudirat Kekere?" And the president said, "Oh, but Jamila, I don't want to turn this government into a Yoruba affair." So that is Nigeria for you. That is Nigeria. We keep open eye and perpetuating tribalism, and we think it will stop. It is turn by turn. That is, it's turn by turn. It's turn by turn, and the people whose turn it is now taking it, the winner takes it all. Who did this to Nigeria? My dear people, who did this to us? Sometime it was during the time of the General Muhammad Buhari, and they will say he was appointing all his people to good positions of authority. And now what is happening? Everybody is keeping quiet. No problem. I keep saying it anytime I have opportunity. Nigeria, the way we make our mouth is the way we lie on it. But when we perpetuate wickedness, tribalism, and we come thinking that we will deceive ourselves, we will lie down on it, because as goat, we lay down on the ground. We are lying on our skin. That's not a problem. Emiloko, when it's my turn, I take it. And that's what every Nigerian pray for. We go to the church and try to God, make our turn to come. But it will be desperately wicked when you are stopping at other people's turn. And you have taken your own turn. Let it go turn by turn. Nigeria is turn by turn. Nobody bother about it. Well, as I am, I move on to the next agenda. Election, local government election is taking place in Osun State. Sometime in the last few months, the federal court, the highest court in Nigeria, has given autonomy to local government in Nigeria. And we were here shouting, supporting the Attorney General of the Federation, with even the government, the Secretary of the Federal Government. And we thought we are together. But quite recently, I can't understand what is happening, though. Because what is happening in Osun State is decided to be dangerous. But what is dangerous? It has happened before. After all, we had two deputy governors in those states. The heaven didn't fall. We have had two sets of local government chairmen and House of Assembly people in Rivers State. The heaven didn't fall. So now is the Osun State turn. It's turn by turn, Nigeria. In Osun State now, we have APC local government chairman and we have PDP local government chairman, all in one Osun State. My only concern is that one of the sections of the LGA chairman is forcing the labor to report to work. If not you, who are you going to pay? Why not you guys go and settle your issues before you ask other people to come? Who you want his head to use to break the coconut of Osun State for you to eat? That is deception and wickedness. Giving ultimatum 72 orders, all the employees in the local government employees should return to work. To serve who? Is it not clear what I say, foolery for you to open your eyes and walk into danger? Walk into which the state governor has called for his people to stay away from the secretariats, because those secretariats are toxic. When the restated local government chairmen are there, then the ones that are elected with the hard-earned money, the taxpayers' money of Osun State are in contest. What kind of country is this? Jare, the goat that lay on his skin is lying you're laying on the ground, is lying on the skin. That's all I can say on that. Oh. You are waiting for me to say, I cannot from here come out to use my head to break coconut for Osun State. Oh. And it's not neither the labor that will do that. Let the two factional local government chairmen, the one that are reinstated and the one that were elected, is in Nigeria you hear confusing words. So when say reinstated, voted, elected, which one are we going to follow? Nigeria, I think you guys are becoming mulatto, political mulatto. Even because of you can't think straight, because of your wickedness. You can see the truth. Somebody see yam, and you are pulling your hoe on the ground. Instead of to harvest the yam, and you are waiting for me to come and show you the yam. Now, trico, in Igbo land, we call it agigo. You know, when any elder tell you he doesn't know how to dig the ground, it is what they call in Igbo land, agigo. Ask your neighbor to interpret for you. When you clearly say that your son don't pass you or my child has passed me, I cannot tell you what to do. It is agigo, highest level of it. Because the okra tree can never grow past his owner. The worst he can do, he can grow as tall as he wants to do, but nobody will tell him to bend when he grow finish. So when the state government of Osun State is not in power, and somebody is remotely reinstating the local government chairman who's supposed to have finished, and if the federal government is truly supporting autonomy of local government, which one do you take? Nigeria, I leave it to you to judge. Wahala there for this country. But every time we open our eyes, put wahala and fire on Nigeria, we are asking God to save us. It is also agigo. When you know what you can do for yourself, you're waiting for God to do it for you. It is agigo. And when the agigo is divine, God will never even play us trick. Because any day he decides to play Nigeria trick, you know what will happen. Your guess is as good as mine. Let us move on, Jare. The Adeleke, the dancing governor, they are just trying to spoil fun for you, my brother. But when the wars got to wars, you just stage another rally. Come to the street of Oshogbo and come up with your cousin and stage a show and dance away the sorrow. That's a way to solve Nigeria issue. Let's move on. Suddenly, the trending issue, then the man has gathered millions of followers. And that man, they call him Maradona. For all those Gen Z, you were not there, as far as 1993 or a little far back, when the man was really in power. They call him Ibrahim Badamoshi Babangida. He was former president, army president. Ask your papa to explain for you. But even your papa may not know because they stop history. And they have disjointed our growth in history. We don't even know which one is president in military regime and president in civilian regime. But president all the same, after all, he occupied as a rock. What's the difference? You can either wear agbada to be there, or you decide to wear khaki. Depending on how you want to come out, you are, as a president, a very honorable position in Nigeria, you know. I bow my cap. You can dress anyhow. I'm not here to decide your dressing formula. But that particular man that time was wearing khaki. We had an election in Nigeria here. He initially said we canceled the election until somebody touched him and said, where did you? It's not normal. And the Americans gave him a language.